Watching a film with friends, missing VHS videotape repeating.
Going green. Twister. Welcome back, fam, crew, peeps, creeps, and peeps. Twister. Special widescreen edition from the producers of Jurassic Park and the director of Speed, The Dark Side of Nature. Special widescreen edition, if I didn't say that already, digitally remastered for superior sound and picture quality in THX. This is a 1996-97 VHS release, 235:1 aspect ratio. Just so you know, the black bars at the top and bottom of the screen are normal for this format. So, written by Michael Crichton, directed by Jan de Bont. Of course, you got Jamie Gertz, Cary Elwes. You got a bunch of people in there. The almighty rest in peace. Bill Paxton, of course. And Philip Seymour Hoffman. This might have been one of the first movies where I ever noticed Philip Seymour Hoffman. And then Helen Hunt, of course, who I had a little bit of a crush on. I don't know how you can't have a crush on Helen Hunt in this movie. I remember seeing this one in theater at West Glen 12 movie theaters back in 1996. My mom and I went and saw it. It was one of the first big visual movies that I saw in theater with that THX quality sound. I think the first movie I ever saw at that theater was 9 Months. For some weird reason, my friends and I went and saw that, even though we were like 12 or 13. I want to say I saw Apollo 13 in theater too. Maybe I didn't, but I remember just the visual and the audio. This thing in theater, 35 millimeter THX quality sound was a blast. I may have even watched it multiple times. So, a gale force movie. The special effects are spectacular. Jenna Maslin, The New York Times. The house rips apart piece by piece. A bellowing cow spins through the air. Tractors fall like rain. A 15,000-pound gasoline tanker becomes an airborne bomb. A mile-wide, 300 miles per hour force of total devastation is coming at you. Twister is hitting home. In this adventure, swirling with cliffhanging excitement and awesome special effects. There's a hyphen there. Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton play scientists pursuing the most destructive weather front to sweep through mid-America's tornado alley in 50 years. By launching electronic sensors into the funnel, the storm chasers hope to obtain enough data to create an improved warning system, but to do so, they must intercept the Twister's deadly path. The chase is on. I've been thinking about this movie a lot lately. A woman I went to high school with opened up a general store here locally in Shawnee, Kansas. And it's all like, everything she has in the shop is all within the 100 or 250 mile radius of our area. It's all like, you know, as organic as possible. No injections and no aids and stuff being put into all the foods. So I've been doing a lot of shopping there. I've been getting this meat from Adrian, Missouri. I've been buying steaks and a lot of beef, making burgers and steak every weekend. So usually I'll cook up a steak. Some butter, some olive oil, heat up the pan, cook the steak, sear it really well. And as that's resting, I'll keep the grease and all the stuff in the pan, and I'll crack an egg in it, cook up an egg. I'll have a steak and eggs. Always reminds me of the Steak and Eggs and Twister. A fantastic movie. I watched this movie so many times, and it's got a huge following. I don't know how big it is across the country, but obviously here in the Midwest, here in Kansas, it's Twisters are obviously a big thing. But when I worked for a theater chain back in the mid-2000s, we had a thing called the Twister Experience at a coworker of mine. It was kind of like his baby. We did it every year, I think usually late April or May. And it usually sold out. I think the first 3 or 4 years we did it. I know that they might have done it like a year before I actually worked there. And I think we did it at least 2 or 3 times on 35 millimeter. So we would have done 2014, 15, 16, on 35 millimeter. I think the 4th year we did it digitally because Theater 4 could only hold, where the 35 millimeter was, could only hold so many people. And this thing usually sold out as soon as it went on sale. So we moved it to Auditorium 1, which is the biggest auditorium we had because it had like twice the amount of seats. It was like 100 versus 200, so the capacity is a lot different. But it was a Twister experience. So we had we would serve, there's a restaurant there as well. So one of the things on the menu was Aunt Meg's, what's her name? Aunt Peggy, whatever her name is now. I just said it, but we'd serve steak and eggs. So you could, while you're sitting watching Twister, you can order steak and eggs. We had like big inflatable cows that we'd like be hitting around inside the theater. We have like wind machines sometimes blowing around in the theater. But the biggest thing, and I'll insert clips if I can, but we would actually set off pyrotechnics inside the theater. So for a period of time, I was employed as a pyrojectionist, is what I called myself. So I was responsible for projecting the film on 35 millimeter, as well as rigging up and setting up the. I just rigged up the pyrotechnics, and the creative manager would set off the stuff. Usually went off pretty without a hitch. Probably not the safest thing, since none of us are certified to do anything like that, and it's probably highly against the law. I know, like, one of the last years they tried to do it, it got shut down. But then again, I think the guy who actually owned the idea of this didn't allow the theater chain to do it after we left. But crazy experience. I wonder if the guy will bring it back to his new theater that could be in talks. In fact, I'm meeting him tomorrow because there might be some news coming. But I don't know when I'm going to post this video. So, Twister, Bill Paxton, great performance. You got Cameron from what's the movie? Ferris Bueller, who obviously went on to be in Succession. You got Sean Whalen. You got Philip Seymour Hoffman, of course. Just all around, just a fun movie. Visually, like the movie actually still holds up. 30 years later. It'll be 30 years next year, I believe. I love this movie a lot. Again, I'll include some clips here at the end of the pyrojection, which you've probably seen on the channel before. They're shorts and stuff. They've been up there for years. But a couple different angles of the same scene. Because we set up the pyrotechnics in the same scenes every year that we did it. But we did it pyrotechnics for this movie. We did it for RoboCop. And we did it for Independence Day. So I'll insert some of those. Hopefully you enjoy it. Don't try it at home, kids. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Twister. I never did see the remake, and I probably won't ever. Like, comment, share, subscribe.